Hey guys, it is Tristan with Nerdette's NewsStand, and all of this that happened with Bill Maher yesterday and then back in November has kind of got a lot of people talking, and I was kind of going through Twitter this morning and I seen a lot of people, tweeting out about just exactly what had happened. And I think, looking into this, I think that there's a lot more to it. I think that it is a form of, just free publicity for Bill Maher, but there's not a lot of times when people on both sides agree, and I think this is actually one of those. So I wanted to kind of look through these tweets because some of them are absolutely hilarious, and I think that not only was it free publicity for Bill Maher's show, which is just absolutely doing awful in the ratings, but I also think that it might have something to do with Kevin Smith. So the first one I found was Brian Edward Hill, who I absolutely love. He's a gem. He's still one of those that are absolutely professional, that will treat you kindly. And I used to say the same thing about Donny Cates, so I hope this doesn't bite me in the ass, but he's still one of the good ones. He said, no idea who this is. Is he somebody's daddy or something? I don't watch old people TV. What time is he on? I couldn't tell you what time he's on because I don't bother to watch the show. I have little respect for the man, and I was sleeping. So Tom King just did a retweet of his first one in November, and it said, enough said. It's got a picture of, Stanley and then Bill Maher and Donald Trump, and then Stan's soapboxes from, I think it was the 70s. So that was you didn't even have to say anything. That was perfection in wording. Frank Thierry, Bill Maher, comic book movies are for losers. And then he puts a picture of Bill Maher from Iron Man 3, which I totally forgot to make that point yesterday, that Bill Maher was, making fun of the MCU, making fun of comic book fans, but then is going to the bank and cashing that check for Iron Man 3. So good point, Bill Maher. You're so smart. Joe Quesada, who I'm not a huge fan of, but what he says, he's right. That is very rare for it to come out of my mouth, but this time I agree with him. He said, I've watched Bill Maher from time to time, been in the audience as well. I don't agree with everything he says. I don't always find him funny. But no one's happier than me that Kevin Smith stopped wearing those damn hockey jerseys. Why does that bother people? I don't get that at all. Okay. Anyways, he said, with that said, I do find his rant surprising. Not because his feeling about comics. It's a comedy bit, and trust me, he's got tons of pals who read him. But because the blowback was so strong, he felt he needed to pick at the scab. And that's my point. I think it was more of he wants to create fake outrage for free promotion. And that's exactly what he's saying. And it's worked. He's gotten everyone up in arms and tweeting help. And if I can talk today, he's got tweeting helping, of course, to help promote his show. Yeah, I know you can say I fell for it as well, except for I'm actually posting this because Bill's timing couldn't be more fortuitous. So he doesn't care for comics. Not everyone does, but everyone does have their own form of escapism, including him, who has publicly fought to legalize what I expect is his all-time fave. I'm betting that over the years, he's encountered more than his share of demonization and bias for the stoner loser stereotype. Probably sounds like a lot. Well, he's basically just saying, our form of escapism is to read a comic and his is to smoke a bowl. What's the difference? Why can you demonize one and not the other? And you can't. I mean, there's no reason to demonize either one of them in my eye, but I just think that's so silly. It says, I want to encourage you all to come celebrate Stanley's legacy and support the amazing Hero Initiative and watch Kevin Smith. Basically, he's right. Everybody has their form of escapism. Everybody is entitled to their opinion. I smell the hypocrisy from here. But anyway, he also does then go to point out that he was in Iron Man 3. So I find it hilarious that he actually is sitting here dissing people when he's such a hypocrite. But I guess aren't we all sometimes? Tae Chun, who is he does stuff for Gotham. I know I always get the Gotham leaks from him, But he says, hey, Bill Maher, I'm sorry that Gotham, Arrow, Flash, Legends of Tomorrow, Supergirl beat your ratings every single week, but thanks for your opinion. I love that. Like, yeah. And I did find this one, and I had to include it. I know it is from November, but I love Scott Snyder, and he says, hey, Bill Maher, just upset because nobody will mourn when you dies. Holy shit, like super burn. Wow, I really didn't expect that I didn't see this back in November, but I did not expect that to come from Scott Snyder. Like, oh my God, he's such like a nice guy that just, oh my God. Okay, so here's Mark Russell, my absolute favorite person in the entire world. Like, I love this man. I'm being super sarcastic. He is my arch nemesis. Not our fault that Bill Maher doesn't understand the difference between a genre and a medium. Yeah, that's what he said. So super weak. Good job, buddy. You came up with... Never mind. I'm going to keep going from there because I could talk about that man too much. I think he's super disrespectful. Robert Lenfield. Bill Maher, appreciate your point of view, but I suggest comments by Alan Moore or Frank Miller. The writing and storytelling is outstanding. Watchmen, Swamp Thing, Dark Knight Returns, and any of the Frank Miller Daredevils are gold standards of illustrated literature. And he's kind of addressing the fact that he said, you know, comics are for kids. If you're still doing this, something from when you were 10 years old, you need to grow up. Well, if you're letting your 10-year-old read Watchmen, we need to talk. Like, these are not for kids, all of these things. Like, I still read the typical ones, but those are specifically for adults. And specifically, they have a lot more adult themes in them. So this is the last one I want to talk about because this goes kind of with what I thought originally maybe this was coming out about, but it says, you know, Kevin Smith, who I do like Kevin Smith. Like, I like his movies more than I like him now. Like, I don't want to see Kevin Smith cry another time. But he says, yes, Bill Maher took a shot at me during a show last night. In the midst of his latest rant about Stan Lee and a dog who like comic book. No, I'm not mad. Bill, talk tough, but he's a stoner like me and a real pussycat when confirmed. So with this being said, here's what I'm kind of thinking. And correct me if you think I'm wrong because I could be totally off. But the new Clerks is underway. And last time Kevin Smith, I do not think was brought up. When I looked it up, I couldn't find anything. I'm thinking this was a double free publicity stunt. Thinking it's going to help real time with Bill Maher, which, like I said, has been suffering. But I'm thinking at the end of the day, it's helping Kevin Smith. And it's helping him. And I love Clerks. Don't get me wrong. I love everything that Kevin Smith does. I love Dogma. I love everything. But I think that people have seen kind of Kevin Smith's decline in the industry. And I think by him ranting about Kevin Smith, it brings all those white knighters out who are going to be like, well, you know what? Fuck Bill Maher. I'm going to support Kevin Smith. And I am going to make sure I go see Clerks, make sure I purchase it, make sure I purchase, you know, any sort of merch, anything. Like, I think this was a dual effort. But, yeah, I don't know. I could be absolutely wrong, but I don't think I am. I think it is just free publicity all around. So let me know what you guys think. I find this hilarious that people are so upset. And you know what? I thought it was pretty fucking rude too. But Bill Maher should have no platform when he just tries to bring other people down with his. And that's a shame. So I will see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.